Hey listeners, you're listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. Grab some tea, a midnight snack, and cuddle up in bed as we dive deep into today's most popular fantasy, sci-fi, and mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Lily.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Christy.
This season we'll be discussing the cultural phenomenon that influenced the entertainment industry for generations with its cult following. That's right, hold on tight, spider monkeys. We're headed to Forks.
When you can live forever, what do you live for? This podcast. You live for this podcast. Also, maybe the vampire who takes a shine to an innocent girl. Welcome to Sparkle High. Let's go.
In this episode, we'll be discussing Book 1, Twilight, chapters 13 through 17, where Bella finally sees Edward and the Cullens for who they truly are, and gets caught in the crosshairs between the Black family and an impending visit from another group of vampires.
Before we get into it, this is your warning for major spoilers ahead. This includes potentially all Twilight materials, including the movies, interviews, and companion books. We're also avid fans of the Moss universe and might accidentally let spoilers slip for other popular romantasy book series as well. Starting in advance, like the other seasons, this podcast is rated R, so be warned.
Also, a friendly reminder to please like, subscribe, and follow. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also join our growing community on Patreon for bonus content and more.
And by who they truly are, I mean sparkling disco balls? I don't really know. So before we get started on today's normal stuff, I thought it would be fun to bring up some of the talk that's going around right now online about the potential upcoming book that Stephenie Meyer is going to drop. She has been teasing that there's going to be an announcement at this Twilight convention in Forks that is on the anniversary, and there's been a lot of talk. So some people are saying, obviously, that it's going to be a book about Jacob and Rigatoni.
Oh.
Some people are saying that it could be a completely different offshoot, but I wanted to tell you guys about this potential theory that Sarah Gallagher and many other people are saying online. So I don't know if you guys remember this because it is a very deep cut, but in the last book, there are all of these vampires that are brought to kind of vouch for Refrigerator as a potential not problem, I guess, as to vouch for her as
she's not an immortal child.
Right, as like not a demon. So one of the vampires that they bring in is the only other vampire hybrid that exists in the world, and his name is Nahuel. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Nahuel, like Naheul.
Is it? Okay. It's from Brazil, right? Or Peru?
I think so.
Okay.
Nahuel. Nahuel. And he's from South America. Let's see. Does it say where he's from? The Mapuche territory. Very not helpful wiki. It says that is the native people of Chile. So he is the only other, to our knowledge, being who is half human, half vampire, like a recession indicator. So a lot of people are saying there's this little passage where he takes notice of her, and he kind of puts it in the back of his head that is the only other person in the world that is like him. And so everyone is saying
love triangle.
This is what everyone is thinking, is that she's going to write another book, and it's going to be a love triangle between Jacob, Nahuel, and Relaskatox. And I cannot believe that this is the prevailing theory.
I agree.
So the children and the daddy.
It is the child,
Raggedy Ann.
Yeah, Raggedy Ann. And, well, at this point, she wouldn't be a child because she grows exponentially fast, like a freak. And she wouldn't be a child once the book is written, I'm sure. But it's already problematic because Jacob imprints on her when she's a baby. Mm-hmm. But there's no guarantee that she will accept him.
And
so the question is...
the other dude is like 1,000 years old.
Yeah. but also the only person who will understand what it's like to be a vampire-human hybrid. So she may end up, gravitating towards him.
Quick question. When she chooses Jacob, because we all know she'll choose Jacob, and
of course
they have babies, is that going to be a human vampire werewolf hybrid? And how is that baby going to find a mate?
So my theory on this is, let's say that happens and she chooses Jacob and they get together. Of course they have to get married because Smyers. And let's say that they have a baby.
Because that's the most important thing in life. My theory is it has to be one or the other. That either she can't have a baby and then she just will be infertile, or she's going to have either a vampire or a human, and then there's no werewolf option, which, of course, Jacob is not technically a werewolf, but I have a feeling she would do Jacob so dirty that that there would be no native wolf lineage in that baby, because
is that a concern, though, because of her viewpoints on things, and yet this other hybrid is also from a different culture. Is there some concern that she's not going to be able to represent them well?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100% she will not do it correctly. Not. No. It's already, she already has her only main native character grooming a child. So there's that.
The thing is, in most vampire versus werewolf lore that I have read, it's always the dreaded hybrid of a vampire werewolf mix that is...
What does that turn out to be?
Just like this super strong, super... I don't know.
It's like super being?
The one that's coming to mind is from Underworld, the movie Underworld, where they were like...
That's a good one.
She gets injected with the vampire werewolf hybrid mix and she can walk in the sun. And I don't know.
If that were to happen and they have this weird vampire human werewolf hybrid, which I don't think that can happen because she has said that they're not actually werewolves, they're children of the moon, right? Which is a little different. But
which I expect, if you're going to bring up the fact that there are actual real werewolves versus the children of the moon or whatever she's representing Jacob's people as, then in this next book, she better bring in those damn werewolves.
Yeah. Well, my thought was, if this baby ends up being this weird hybrid, wouldn't we have another situation where the Volturi has to step in and kill it?
Maybe she'll kill them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Maybe that's what the book is her killing them.
Honestly, that would be kind of fun.
That would be nice.
Either way, I'm gonna devour it.
You motherfuckers tried to kill me when I was 3 months old. Payback's a bitch.
Okay, a revenge story would be great.
Although, honestly, for me, I would like to completely steer away from any kind of addition to what they've already written. I would rather see like an Alice story, an Esme and Carlisle, something like that. I would rather see or actually Rosalie and Emmett. I actually think they might be a fun couple to see their beginnings.
Christy, you got the right thing in mind. You're on my side.
I like Rosalie.
I love Rosalie as well, Christy. She is one of my favorites, and I'm going to talk about her more in this episode. So let's get into the episode.
Okay.
Cool.
Last we left off, Edward was gearing up for the striptease of a lifetime. After many odd interactions between school and Port Angeles, Edward and Bella have come to some kind of weird understanding, and he's finally decided that he should trust her with everything, including his sparkly skin. Which leads to him kidnapping her for the day and eagerly showing her the one thing that he assumes will scare her away, which is his sparkles. We knew this was going to happen. But reading it again is just as absurd as the first time. So how do we feel about the meadow scene?
The only thing
ridiculous.
The only thing I can picture is him coming out of the woods like he's walking down a runway, unbuttoning his shirt and being like, whoa, look at me.
But isn't he though? But that was the movie. And here though, wasn't it where he's laying in the grass, perfectly still, and he's got his shirt on, and it's just the center that's like,
well,
you want some of this? Do you want some of this?
He's got it unbuttoned.
You know?
I'm like, dude, you're wearing a sleeveless shirt. How much more skin do you need to be like, here you go?
Yeah, he doesn't have to undress. Like he can just walk into the sun like a normal person. He doesn't have to like reveal the chest. You know what I mean?
It's very like Billy Idol. I expected some like hip thrust, you know. I don't know. It just, yeah, it was it.
Also, I love the fact that in the scene when he's got his head tipped back and he's quietly, from Bella's perspective, he looks like he's singing to himself. But the most unhinged piece of knowledge that has come out of Midnight Sun, in my opinion, thus far, is that actually what he's doing. I cannot talk about it without laughing. What he's actually doing is calculating all of the species in the meadow and the number of insects that are around him. Almost like he is trying not to get a boner or something. You know how guys are like, think about a car, think about your mom, think about your you know what I mean? In order to like not bust or something. And I feel like that's what he's doing, but it's to keep his like composure.
He has a permanent boner though, doesn't he? He is stone. I mean, I don't think you get like flaccid stone.
I was going to bring that up. He's supposed to be unchanging, right? So why is it that his penis is the only thing that works?
Is it actually that he's permanently flaccid? Because realistically, he should, be unchanged from when he died. And I don't think it would have been hard when he died.
I don't know. Carlisle's awful pretty.
Oh my God, that's fucked, Christy.
Listen, we have brother marrying sister.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure it's not much of a stretch.
If Edward could hear this right now, he would be livid. He'd be so mad.
No, you know what?
Like realistically,
he would be boring us to death going, are you afraid? Are you scared? Dangerous. Are you afraid?
Don't be afraid. But are you afraid?
Don't be afraid.
But do. But don't. But do.
I'm dangerous. But I'm selfish, so I'm going to stay with you.
You guys know that? Is it like a TikTok sound where it's like, I'm dead. I'm alive. I'm dead again. I'm alive.
That is what Edward is. He is a TikTok.
Oh my God.
He is a TikTok. Yeah. Yes.
He is so funny and unintentionally so.
Yeah. This is the skin of a killer, Bella. Don't you find it grotesque? It's so diamond and, glittery. It's just so disgusting.
And he's like, the lion falls for the lamb or whatever. And I picture him going,
like a little rare.
Yeah.
I could not unhear the movie version of the as if you could outrun me. Like, I could not unhear Robert Pattinson saying it. Oh my God. The movies cannot be unmolded from these books.
Yeah.
I feel like they are so influential to these books now. And in some ways that's a great thing. And in some ways it's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder where she wrote this scene in context with the other ones. Cause I know you said she didn't write it in order because this is
the one she wrote first.
Maybe that's why, because it was first. It had such a Gone with the Wind vibe, a very old, obnoxious, it was really hard to read. I don't understand why the editor didn't go back and say, you got to rewrite this, because other ones were so much better done. And I just the whole, if he says he is dangerous one more time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a mess. And he's so moody, back and forth.
Mood swings.
Don't be afraid.
Crazy
freaking out at her for being not afraid.
He wants her to be afraid.
But he also doesn't want her to be afraid.
I think he wants her to be afraid, but he wants her to think he doesn't want her to be afraid.
Yeah. It's so weird. And they have this weird conversation, and he's like, come on, little coward, climb on my back, which, by the way, is not hold on tight, spider monkey.
Yeah, I definitely
no wonder they changed that.
The movie version of that, because there are several times in this section that Edward says things like that I'm like, I want to bitch slap you. Are you
right? Don't call me a coward.
Like, he throws her in the mud and then laughs at her. And I'm like, is this Stephenie Meyer's version of banter? Because she sucks at it.
She really does.
I agree.
Oh my God. And the fact that she took it from like the romance part, she cut the fun part, the whole I'm falling for you part. She cut all of that out. And that's the fun part. That's like,
that's
where
why
all the goofy shit happens.
So many people love a slow burn.
Yeah. I think this book has its merits. It has its fandom that is really devoted, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the meadow scene is so monumental in the fandom.
I just can't get over the fact that they went and laid in the cold, wet dirt and didn't, like, they just stared into each other's eyes until he went all psycho.
Yeah.
As bugs crawl on them. Did he count the bugs that were crawling on him or just the ones that were out in the meadow?
Just the ones that were out.
I was listening to it while I was, because I've been reading the text, like the physical book for Twilight, but then listening to Midnight Sun while I do other things, because it is so, Midnight Sun is droning. It just goes on and on about unnecessary shit. And I was like listening, like not paying attention halfway, and I heard the thing about the insects in the back of my mind, and I went, hold on a second. Back up. Beep, beep, beep. What the fuck did he just say?
She's sitting there thinking, oh, he's so beautiful. Let me pet him. Which
she's like, he's singing to himself?
Her sitting there going, oh, he's so beautiful. I just can't take it. My brain doesn't work when he's around. And he's like, 1, 2, 80, 41.
No, I'm going to read a passage from this. He said, as I continued to classify, I added the calculation. If there were currently 4,913 insects in the area of the meadow, which was roughly 11,035 square feet, how many insects on average would exist in the 1,400 square miles of the Olympic National Park? What if insect populations dropped 1% for each 10 feet of elevation? I brought up in my head a topographic map of the park and started computing the numbers. You did what, my guy? Now, I would be like, oh, he's just got a little touch of the tism, but that's not what that is. That's serial killer behavior. He's crazy.
One of my favorite books, the main male character and the main female character get stuck underneath a building, falls on them, and he uses his gifts to, like, cocoon them. And then he's like...
Classic.
Yeah, he's holding her.
Forced proximity.
He's holding her, and he's like... she's trying to talk to him, and he's like, I am trying to think about baseball.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
wrong one.
You
got balls
like...
and you got bats.
Wrong one to be thinking about in that moment. But yeah, that's what I was like. Okay, I feel like Meyer is going for that type of, scene, but
it does not.
She's
work.
taking it to a level of insanity that's a little scary.
Well, the fact that he's so fucking dramatic that he's like runs away from her and is like, oh, hold on. I just can't. Oh my God.
And he runs away from her because she sniffs him. And he's sitting there the whole time going, you smell so good, like almost so good that I'm going to kill you. And then he's like, I hate that you think I smell good.
Everything about me is meant to draw you in. As if you could outrun me. I'm sorry. I can't unhear it.
At that point, she should have gotten up and left and been like, no, you are way too much fucking drama. No.
Yeah, she's giving him way too much space to be who he is.
Yes. And then there's the fact that literally, I hate this, but Bella, you can really see it in that first kiss that they have. Bella is the source of temptation. She's the one who's pushing for the, sexual encounter and whatnot. And he is just doing his damnedest to be pure and,
Yeah. It's frustrating that she is in a lot of ways,
the aggressor.
Not the Eve, but
the snake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I guess it is like Eve, but I think since you brought it up, one thing that I noticed, and maybe this is, okay, it's probably reaching a little too far. I'll admit that. But in this scene, very specifically, like I've noticed it throughout the book so far, but in this scene a lot, she compares him to an angel. A lot. The descriptors for him are angelic.
Godlike.
What's the word?
Angel-like.
Seraphim.
Seraphim. That's it. I was like, I knew it.
But she compares him to a seraphim, which is another type of angel. She says that he has a voice of an archangel. And I think after a while, I started to get, one, kind of annoyed that she was comparing him to an angel. And two, it just really nails down the influences that Stephenie Meyer had writing this. You know what I mean? That she thinks Edward is this perfect being despite the human problems that he wrestles with. And I think she doesn't do it as much in the rest of the book, but it is very, very clear here.
It's annoying because like in the first couple of sections, it was all about his perfect face. He's so perfect in every perfect way. And then now it's, angel, godlike, Adonis-like. He shot the
But think about the fact that, I mean, and it is kind of sad in a way that for her, truly, if the people in her life that she sees as godlike, that she sees as angelic, because they have to represent somebody in her life. And if that truly is the monster that they are underneath, and she still sees them that way, that's really sad.
It's concerning.
It is.
For sure.
And
it's definitely concerning.
To be honest, the way that she describes Edward and I guess the rest of the Cullens doesn't sound angel-like or godlike or Adonis-like, because she's like, he's got purple veins in his eyelids. In my mind, the way she's describing him, I'm thinking he's a corpse, because he's a corpse. And I'm like,
yeah.
Why are you falling in love with a corpse? Why do you think that this corpse is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
It's the fact that he's so white, that all the, like, things that come with being that white, having, like, purple undertones and, like, eye bags and stuff like that, she's even finds those attractive.
So did she go to college?
Yes, she went to Brigham Young, I think.
For what?
Writing.
Seriously?
That's...
The silence said everything.
That's the only acceptable career.
Seriously? I do think it is very
I will say this, though, with the purple eyes and whatnot. It's only purple underneath your skin because, there's blood there. And if there's no blood in a vampire, how is it purple?
Yeah, no. Stephenie Meyer science is all retconned to fit her perfect idea of a man. So none of it really makes sense.
Did somebody in her life die and that she saw them as a... I'm actually being serious. I'm really not trying to be funny, but I
have no idea.
I mean, that could be something that kind of imprinted on her, that she felt like they were so beautiful in that moment.
That's crazy.
That's disturbing.
Guys. Yeah. I mean, we give her a lot of shit, and we have, I feel like, criticized her in a lot of ways that we've criticized other authors. But this is different in that we don't see this type of fixation on a character that we have seen in other authors similarly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The attributes of how he looks and how he acts and how angelic he is and his voice and everything that she has imagined about this character is very real to her, it seems.
I mean, it could be, especially if it was somebody during her formative years that she saw in that way. Maybe she kind of equates them to that. I would be curious.
Yeah.
And I did not mean that disrespectfully at all or in any kind of mean way.
It just cracked me up because it's like, that would be crazy if that was the case,
The other thing that got me was she mentions it several times that he's cold. And I was like, so he should be cold, but he should be room temperature. So while they're out in the sun, he should be warming up a little bit. He shouldn't be icy.
Yeah, even stone doesn't stay freezing cold, I guess.
He puts his cheek up against her throat and then comes back and goes, see how warm it is? So obviously she understands that the vampires can take on the temperature of whatever, but why is he so damn cold all the time?
I don't know what is up with that either. I'm so glad we're doing these books because what the hell?
It makes me wonder, though, would it have felt better if he took a hot bath before their honeymoon?
You know, some women like weird temperature play. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe she likes popsicles.
Yeah. I've seen it before. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Flaccid popsicles. Jesus. Oh my god. Okay, so they have their moment in the meadow. She nearly passes out when he kisses her, which I think is hilarious.
She attacks him.
Oh, that's the first time. You're right. The first time she attacks him.
Which,
you're so right.
Oh my god.
And he hates it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which, I don't think she attacked him. She just tried to actually kiss him and pull him in. And he's like, you attacked me.
The way that I'm picturing it, the way it's described, because she's like, neither of us expected my reaction because I grabbed his hair and pulled him in. And I'm just picturing her crawling
Brittany's
all over her.
Arms reaching up, yanking.
That's kind of what I pictured too. A salt lick or something.
Not how I thought.
Like assault, yeah.
That is not how I pictured it at all. I pictured when you get really into a kiss, you like put your hands in their hair and get into
it. Slowly. You don't just go like...
Oh my god. Suction cup. Like... Well, Edward was really traumatized by it, so maybe...
Oh my god.
Maybe she did, dude. I don't know.
And then the next time he kisses her, she passes out!
Yeah, then she passes out.
Yeah, that made no sense.
But anyway, so he decides they're gonna go back now, and he's like, let me show you how we're gonna get back. And he puts her on his shoulders and runs at the speed of light, and she gets super dizzy and feels sick, and then he has to drive home. Or
How does she not get a stick to the face while he's fucking running? Because at some point in there, he's going to run through some trees or a bush or something.
I know.
How?
But he wouldn't dare let a tree hurt her. Isn't that what he says at the baseball game?
I get it, but he can't run through a forest. Like you can't.
Edward is perfect.
He's not
through a forest.
Yeah, he's not running like this, like they do in the in the movie. He's probably like going,
right? And so, but even then, it would like come down and hit her in the face. And by the time he got her back to the thing, it would be like the Headless Horseman.
For those not watching the video, Brittany mimed swatting branches out of the air as he was running. Oh my gosh. So funny.
Well, he might hit her with his hand and then, crash her skull, right?
Yeah.
Crush her skull. Yeah. Yeah. As he says that he could potentially easily do at any moment.
Right?
Yeah. So they get back to the car and he insists on driving because she is still kind of woozy. To be fair, she did essentially just get on like the fastest roller coaster of her life, probably.
Yes.
But so they drive back, and on the drive back, they discuss some things, which we finally get. He finally opens up a little bit because he perceives her as not an issue now. He's like, okay, she's accepted me for the freak that I am, and I think I can open up to her. So she kind of asks, like, how old are you?
He's worried that she's going to be disgusted by his age, which
she's just like,
as a meme I saw on Instagram earlier, is age doesn't matter if you're hot, right?
That's right, according to Bella. But his music choices are a little questionable. I'm not going to knock the 50s, but don't come for the 80s like that. He said they were tolerable. Edward, You don't know shit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Dude likes classical music, though. I wonder what Edward would think of K-pop.
Oh, he would hate it.
He would hate it in his bedroom. You know he would. Come
doing the
on.
dances?
He had the hair for it. Yeah.
Do you think that Edward could be a K-pop idol because he sparkles?
No.
He would be a secret. He'd be a secret K-pop idol. Yeah. Yeah. He would hide it.
Brittany's losing it. I think he would be a great K-pop idol.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He's great at everything he does.
Yeah, I forgot. My bad. And he's got the whole parasocial stalking behavior down.
Yeah.
Now, granted,
There you go.
K-pop idols don't do the stalking. They usually are the stalked. But,
Yeah.
like,
But people do flock to him.
they do.
He could have a cult overnight. Just saying there's potential there.
Yeah.
But he reveals he was born in Chicago in 1901 and that Carlisle found him while he was dying of the Spanish flu.
Which, I have this problem. Because in the meadow, I think it is, or somewhere around the scene, he says, I'm struggling with this hunger that I've never felt before. Other hungers, not just thirst. I'm like, dude, you are a 17-year-old boy. You're telling me this is the first time you got a hard-on for a girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not pretend
Chicago,
here.
1901 to 1918, the average marriage age, and yes, I did look this up, was about 40 years old. 30 to 50, that's the range. Not marriage, that was the life expectancy. So,
okay, that makes more sense.
Of course they're going to get married young. A lot of them got married in their late teens, early 20s, or, even sooner.
Well, look at Carlisle and Esme. Esme is the oldest of the 7 of them, and she already had a baby. She's 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by 26, she was married with a baby. But yeah, no, I mean, this is why I say Edward is not completely reliable as a narrator. He is just making shit up. I know that Stephanie Meyer would like to believe that he is this perfect being, and she wrote him that way, but there's no way. There is no way. And it's like, what else is she says that he would never tell Bella that he's a vampire. He says vampire later. Mm-hmm. He says it in the book.
Well, I already said that he would tell her in like 2 seconds. The man cannot keep secret. But it does feel like a lot of this is Stephanie Meyer's kind of wet dream in a way, that's what she wants to hear from somebody, or that is her ideal kind of, fantasy.
A lot of
and
people
that's what
say
she's made him into. You're the only one I've ever felt this way about.
Yeah.
And
because love only comes around once in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he would be tainted if he ever felt that way about anyone else.
Yeah.
Guys. Then it wouldn't be real.
No. If any man ever told me that I was the first that they ever felt those feelings with, even at the
you'd be like,
even at the lovely age of 17, I would have been like, okay, we're not gonna hang out anymore because you obviously can't tell the truth.
Yeah, because that's red flags.
Wait,
that's red flags.
Hold on. So if Zayden told you that, Brittany, you would kick him to the curb?
Oh, ears open.
What?
I might give him a second chance, but Zayden is enough of a man to be like, yeah, okay, so I fucked her.
Fair enough.
And you like him for that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, Edward is not a reliable narrator. He even tells Bella, he doesn't even tell Bella the truth about Esme. He says she fell off a cliff, which is a nice way to put it considering it's a very traumatic event.
And to be fair, that's her story to tell.
It is.
True.
But he could have said, you should ask Esme about it or wait for Esme to talk to you about it. You know what I mean?
Which is funny because she casually is like, oh yeah, I had a baby and then I, jumped off a cliff.
She does say it very casually. By the way, did he tell you that I had a baby and it died and I jumped off a cliff? Did he tell you that? And she's like,
and then
no,
I adopted him.
And here they are, my children.
My children.
So normal.
That are married.
Yes. Which I wrote this in the notes, but Carlisle and Esme being their quote-unquote parents is the one thing that I really cannot get over. Like, I can suspend disbelief for a lot of these books. I do not vibe with the fact that they're their parents. I cannot do it. It does not work for me.
They seem more like an older sibling.
Yeah, like found family is one thing, and I don't think it's bad. Like, you can have found family that you feel like you're very attached to and really respectful and stuff like that. But Carlisle and Esme being their mother and father and Edward calling them mom and dad is weird for me.
Yeah.
And I am adopted. So I have called someone who is not my parent mom and dad. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just don't.
It's also
something about it doesn't work.
It's also interesting because he calls Carlisle and Esme mom and dad, whereas Bella refers to her parents as Renee and Charlie.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what? That's a good point, because it's almost like the Cullens are more perfect in that way. They're a family.
Yeah. Whereas
Bella doesn't have like a clear-cut family. Like, she's the one that's imperfect. She calls her parents by their first names. I don't know. That's a great point, Brittany, that I just now thought of. Like, that's crazy. What else does he say in the car? They talk about his backstory briefly. He briefly says, oh my God, this is my favorite part. He says 2 years after being turned, they turned Rosalie. Or no, somewhere down the line, they found Rosalie. And 2 years after she was turned, she came across Emmett. And she carried Emmett over 100 miles.
Without eating him.
After being a newborn vampire to Carlisle and was like, please save him. And that is one of my favorite stories. I think that they are so great. And Rosalie is such a badass.
I will give Rosalie this credit. She is the only vampire of the Cullen vampires who has never tasted human blood.
Correct. She has never done it. And that's badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is so awesome. Even Edward admits he had this vigilante rebel stage where he was like killing people for funsies.
Which Bella's then like, oh, well, that's fine.
Well, she's like, well, as long as they were bad people.
No, before she found out they were bad people, she was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, but I could read their mind and tell that they were bad, and so I went after the bad people. Which I am very anti-death penalty, because I believe, there's always the potential that you're putting to death somebody who is completely innocent. And that is 100% wrong. I'm okay with Edward knowing what they did and killing them. I'm fine with it. But if he were to have told me, oh, yeah, I killed people, there would be questions. There wouldn't be like, oh, well, honey, it's fine. It's in the past.
Well, I think for me, it's like, they've known each other for less than 2 months. And this guy tells you that he has killed people.
That he wants to kill you.
Yeah, and that he wants to kill you. And that he is just barely hanging on by a thread. Is that normal? No. Also, I don't think it's okay to just be a vigilante justice kind of guy. Okay, you can read their minds. That's good. But
I like superhero vigilante.
I don't know.
I'm going to side with Brittany on this. Like, let me tell you, if I could read people's minds and they hurt animals and I could slaughter them, I would fucking do it. And I would be so happy.
That's okay. I think that's fair. I think it's fair to want to have justice for bad people. Like, that's one thing. But we don't know any of the details about what he did. What are the reasons he killed these people? We don't know what decisions he was making. He unveils a little bit of it in Midnight Sun, and we're supposed to believe they were all really, really bad people. Maybe they were. But, like, why does he get to decide that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one thing to just assert that these are bad people. And it's another thing to think that he actually has,
to be fair,
the wherewithal.
It's not like our justice system can assign the proper punishment in some cases either.
Yeah. Yeah. So
speaking of the timeline, I think it is hilarious because I saw that you did this too. But I was like, okay, so she arrives on January 18th and the rest of the book is basically March. And then at the end of the book, there's prom, which is May. But all of the things that we're reading now, up until she gets hurt later, is all in March. And so...
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So she goes to the beach, the push on the 5th, finds out that Edward's a vampire. They go to Port Angeles on that Tuesday, which I think is the 8th. And then Edward takes her to the meadow on the 12th. So we're on the 12th of March.
My timeline says she learns about the cold ones at La Push on the 5th. Port Angeles is the 8th. And then the 13th is when she meets the family. So you're exactly right.
And so literally they've had maybe 8 weeks of school. They're seeing each other 5 days a week. He's already missed an entire week of school because of his absences. And after the first 2 weeks, he stops talking to her after the whole van incident until March. So it's not like even though they share an hour in class together, it's not like they've spent that much time together while both of them are aware of it.
Yeah, because he just stalks her for most of it. And she thinks about him a lot, but they aren't actually together that much. It's crazy.
They've spent maybe 2 days together. I didn't need his whole backstory.
So they end up getting home. Edward kind of pushes her to tell Charlie about him just a little bit, and she rebuffs it a bit.
I wouldn't want to tell my dad either. Like, the only time I told my dad I had a date, he insisted the guy came in, sat him down, and then was like, "What are your intentions with my daughter?" It was so fucking embarrassing. We didn't have a second date.
I only told my dad about, 2 guys, and it never went well. Ever. And we just didn't talk about it. You know what I mean? I do not blame Bella at all. And Edward is being a lame-o, because he's born at the end of the Victorian era.
The thing I didn't remember was the fact that Charlie thought she was going to sneak out, and he undid her car cable.
Which, that's actually diabolical.
It is.
That's crazy. My dad would never do that. He would just catch me in the act.
My dad has literally put one of those things on my steering wheel to make it not be able to drive. Not that I snuck out. Look at my social life now. It's non-existent. Do you think I had a social life in high school? Where my friends were in another county?
I used to sneak out a lot. They did not know about it. But one time, I got caught sneaking out because I raced home before my dad got home. And he had obviously an inkling because he had called me and was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, nothing at all. I'm at home. And he was like, "Okay, well, I'll see you in a minute." And I was like, "Oh, you're coming home?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll be home in 5 minutes." And I was like, "Okay, see you soon." And then I gunned it home. And then I had my car in the driveway, and then I was at home, being normal. And then he came home and felt the hood of my car, and it was hot. And he was like, "Yeah, I know you've been somewhere."
Oh my God.
And I had not thought of that at all. And I was like, I fold under pressure instantly when I'm lying. So he was like, "Tell me what happened." I'm like, "I'm sorry." I just immediately folded.
Whereas I doubled down and was like, "It's hot outside." It's Georgia.
See, this is why I got really good at not being caught, because I knew the instant I was going to be caught, I would just spill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My dad has gone to the extent of checking the mileage.
Yeah. My dad's done that.
My parents didn't do that, but they did. I think it was their 20 or 25th wedding anniversary. They had gone out, and I decided to have a party at the house, but I was at work. I worked at Gold's Gym at the time. And
a party?
I let my friends go in. I gave them a key, and I said, "Go ahead and get started, and I'll come, I'll be there after work." And I called the house, because this was back in the day without cell phones. And I called the house, and my parents pick up. And I was like, "Oh, shit." So, that was the worst drive home. And then I get there, and I'm getting into trouble, and people are still coming up for the party. And I'm like, "Yeah, it's over."
Oh, my God. Yeah. I have never had a party at my house for reasons like that. Like I knew that it would go wrong, and that's awesome, Christy. You're so cool.
I didn't even get to enjoy it.
You're like, I didn't get to do it.
I had a party at my place when I was an adult and living on my own with roommates. Unfortunately, I did not tell my roommates that I was having a party and they were out of town, and those idiots broke their things. And so I had to pay for that.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's the worst situation. It's like classic, though. Oh, man. Yeah, I used to sneak out all the time. Also during school. I used to just like leave school all the time. That was the best time because then my dad would never know.
I'm not going to say I never snuck out. I did, but I was like 17, 18. It was towards my more adult years than anything.
Yeah.
And for our school, like we used to be able to leave and come back, but then they started locking us in. So...
Seems a little.
Yeah, you'd think. But then, your brother disappears from class one day because he has a free period and there's a bomb threat and they accuse him of making the bomb threat because they can't find him anywhere.
That's a little far.
Yeah.
Crap.
Damn. Well, Bella did not try to sneak out. Even the slightest.
Seriously, Charlie should have trusted his daughter more. I mean, that girl is more mature than he is.
The irony is that she doesn't have to sneak out like someone's sneaking in.
True.
Edward is coming in without even trying. He's been sneaking in that squeaky window. Not squeaky now. But so he assumes she's going to be sneaking out. They totally thwart his plans. And Edward stays the night. They talk about all kinds of things. I forgot to bring up that he does tell Bella about Jasper and Alice a little bit.
Jasper's power is creepy.
It is, but it doesn't make sense to me that he has a power that can manipulate other people's emotions, yet he is unable to control his own. Explain that to me.
Think about Hitler.
You would honestly think...
The man was very charismatic.
That's crazy, Brittany.
I mean, if you look into the history books, that's how he's described. He's very charismatic. He could always guide a mob into doing whatever he wanted, into believing whatever he wanted, and people followed him like he was God. And he's very charismatic. Now, that man had anger issues too.
Jasper, I'm going to defend Jasper a little bit. I don't think he's Hitler. I think he's been through a lot, and in war. And somebody turned him into a vampire and made him a weapon.
He's a proud Confederate. I'm just saying.
I was about to say, is he devoid of issues? No.
I think Hitler's worse. I will give Jasper that. I don't think he was planning on genocide or anything.
We assume that because Stephenie Meyer has her problems with race, that Jasper also has problems with race, and that is unacceptable. I agree.
But also, he was proud of being a Confederate.
Yeah. He was also, another thing about Jasper that is crazy is that he was, and I don't think it's revealed until later books, but he is kind of controlled by this terrible woman. I forget.
Maria.
Her name is escaping me. Maria. Of course she's fucking... Is she Hispanic? Because I'll lose my mind.
I would think probably
Of course
Italian.
It's an evil Hispanic woman.
All the Italians.
Italian?
All the Italians are bad in this book, so I'm thinking Italian.
Oh, that's fair. But he's from Texas, and she met him.
She was old.
It's West Side Story.
I'm just saying, if she demonized another minority, I'm gonna lose it. She's Mexican.
In my brain, she will be
She's
Italian
Mexican.
because all the Italians are evil in this book, which is not good for. I mean, obviously, Italians are not evil,
and neither are Mexicans. And of course, it's a Mexican woman that poor Jasper is just influenced by. Okay, I don't mean to defend any kind of racist behavior. That is not where I'm coming from. Just, I was like, damn, you're going to compare him to Hitler? Damn.
It was all... okay, when you think about a charismatic person in history, he's the one that comes to mind.
It's a good comparison because it explains kind of what Christy is thinking. Is like, how can he be controlling of other people, but still unable to control
Well,
himself.
especially
Think about
like,
I guess a narcissist or somebody, a psychopath, where they are able to manipulate and control people, but they generally cannot control their own emotions.
yeah, but usually that's some sort of almost like a natural instinct for them. And I don't know. I think for his, it's more of like a power that he can intentionally manipulate specific emotions.
Yeah.
And it's odd because for a narcissist, you're going to have more of like a manipulation of a situation and not where they can actually be like, now you're going to feel angry or now you're going to feel happy.
Mm-hmm.
And for Jasper, he can, but yet he can't do that. He can't happy himself.
I think what's crazy is she writes this kind of power for Jasper, but I feel like we never get to see it. He is kind of an underused character. I feel like his power is more interesting than she gives it credit.
His power would have been really great come Eclipse when, the army comes in.
He feels like a tote for Alice, like a piece of jewelry or something to compliment her that she has rescued him. Look how good she is and what she's done for him.
Although,
I would actually love to see an Alice book.
I gotta say, I love Alice and everything, but the fact that him being a proud Confederate soldier was not a deal breaker for her was kind of a little bit of a red flag there. But
perhaps there was a punishment there where he took ownership of it and paid the price. We don't know.
Maybe.
We
can hope.
Maybe there was a rigorous spanking.
Oh my God. Not a spanking.
Little tiny Alice giving really tall Jasper a spanking. Here, honey, bend over my knee.
All I can see is her doing little twirls and jumps in the middle of smacking him on the butt like a little fairy. Like, I can't see her as like moving any type of normal way. You know what I mean? Like she's always jumping and like twirling and prancing. And I love Alice, but in my mind, she is like a pixie.
Yeah, she's definitely a pixie in my mind too.
Yeah. Another thing is, but I mean, okay, so he's problematic. What cracks me up about the following chapters that like reveal all this information when they go to the Cullens household and she learns even more things about them, and is they talk a little bit more about Carlisle's backstory, and he was literally a vampire hunter, guys.
He was.
And witch hunter and all other things supernatural, or quote unquote evil. But I just never put that together somehow.
Mm-hmm. I didn't remember
He's
much
the son
about
of a pastor. Yeah. I just thought that was kind of crazy to not remember.
My thing that I hate about it, though, is the fact that he's the son of a Protestant preacher, and it is because of his upbringing that he, knew that he was evil and
in spite of,
and managed to rise above.
Jesus.
But all the other vampires that are not sons of Protestant preachers, they're fine with being evil.
Yeah. Except for Alice and Jasper.
And Tanya and her whole family they go through a whole transformation. They realize later on that they're doing things that they don't want to keep doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing that gets me about Stephenie Meyer's vampires, which I really hate, is that a single bite either turns you or you die. Like, there's no second chances.
Yeah.
And I'm
like... Well, Bella gets a second chance.
Sort of. I mean, yeah, he sucks it out of her. But... but the fact is, the one thing I love about vampires is, they can, in other books, they can choose to be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna drink your blood, but I'm just gonna take a sip and move on. And you're still alive. Nothing bad happened to you.
Yeah, because you have to drink their blood in order to make the actual transformation.
Or you have to be like drained to a certain point.
I can't remember. Did we ever find out who Alice's person was that turned her?
It's in the illustrated guide.
I think
What?
it's
Are you
also
kidding me?
revealed later. I think it's also revealed in a later book because they have to face, or later in this book or in another book because they end up facing James, who I think was there when she was turned.
He was hunting.
Yeah, so I think there's more revealed later, but the full story is in the illustrated guide.
That's bullshit. Are you kidding me? So a half-assed offshoot book, that's where they're going to do it and not in a full novel that, or at least within the other books too. Like, that's some crap because I would love her full story.
The illustrated guide is where they try to explain
everything.
all the stupid shit that's in Twilight that people had questions about. And one of them was Alice's backstory.
And I think it was a gardener who just took a shining to Alice, and she could see the future as a human, which is why she was in the insane asylum.
Yeah, she was in
Wait
like
a
an
minute.
asylum.
So that, I'm like Drusilla? Are you kidding me?
She's Drusilla.
That is a complete fucking ripoff. It was, except for Drusilla was not a good-hearted, adorable pixie. She was
Alice
a
is
badass
also
vampire, but
not insane.
Some people think Alice is
Yeah.
not good-hearted.
what?
Yeah, we can discuss more later if you guys want, but
like that Southern sweet. That would be awesome.
well,
in a way,
there are some people that say that Alice is really not that good of a friend to Bella. She's actually just a really good sister to Edward because everything Edward wants, she makes happen. And if Bella doesn't like it, she doesn't really care. She just kind of goes with what Edward wants. So I don't really subscribe to that theory. I think Alice may have some bias towards her feelings towards Edward because, you know, she was with him a lot longer.
Absolutely.
But I see where people are coming from.
Yeah, I do too. I like Alice, so.
I like Alice too.
Yeah.
I don't think she's evil-hearted. At least one of them has to be normal and good. Please?
I think she's adorable. I do like Alice,
Yeah.
but I did find it weird with Rosalie and Emmett that he talked about that he keeps having to go to their weddings. So you're
She likes to
telling
get
me-
married.
and it, which is, I mean, I would get that, except for you have presented yourself as brother and sister. How has that never been an issue wherever they've lived that brother and sister get married? Like that's
Yeah, it's a valid point.
They've presented themselves as foster siblings.
Okay,
Right.
I don't care,
But legally, can they marry each other even as foster siblings?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Yes. Unfortunately,
the fact that you know
yes.
that terrifies me, Brittany. But
So I watched How to Get Away with Murder, and there was a couple that adopted a girl and a boy, and there were rumors that they were sleeping together, and they weren't related, but you know, I
get that,
looked into
but it's
it
still
on that.
fucking creepy.
I mean, have you guys ever seen Umbrella Academy?
No.
I
Yeah.
mean, in Umbrella Academy, they're all of them are siblings, and two of them kind of have a thing.
I mean, yes, but they're not trying to fit in to society in that way. But for them, it's like she says they keep doing the wedding as a part of show for the local society, which to me is odd that they would do something like that when that society is probably going to be like, what the fuck? Like, these are siblings and they're getting
very, very much against society that even foster siblings or adopted siblings or any kind of people who were raised together as siblings marry each other.
And they're so concerned about looking normal.
Yeah. Also,
right, exactly.
Also, if you need to go to the fucking courthouse, do you really need a wedding?
Well, they don't need to. They are already married. They don't need that. But it sounds like they're doing it just for show. Like, oh, we got to get married again for show for the local people, and it's just
because they want to live.
I think it's because Rosalie just likes to get married. Yeah, there you go.
Possibly. And if that were truly the case, then I would be like 100%. You go get it. You know, be your weird self.
I think she just likes to get married,
which is just. Okay, I know.
Which is also funny.
I know a lot of girls grow up picturing their wedding day. My mom used to tell me all the time that when she was growing up, that's all she she pictured was her wedding day. Never once have I ever pictured it or wanted it.
I had trouble picturing it as well until I was with someone for as long as I was. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should start thinking about getting married. And then I didn't even know where to start because I was like, I don't know what do I need to pick? What do I need to decide? Like, I didn't know where to go from there.
But I don't think either of us did really traditional things.
Yeah.
No, I eloped.
Weddings. Mine was mine was like a drive-up wedding.
Yeah. Yeah. So I ended up not even doing the wedding. So no, I'm right there with you.
I mean,
you had an awesome wedding, though.
You had your friend
Thank you.
officiate it for you, and
cool place.
But I will say, yes, it was amazing. But I will say it's all thanks to my friends because I had no idea what the fuck I wanted. I said, we're going to go here. Here's a venue that will do it. It's weird. I like the weird venue. You guys help me. And they were like, we're happy to help you. So I was just lucky to have cool friends. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I went through my brother's wedding and it was all nice and pretty and whatnot. And I really liked her dress. I liked the dress that she picked out for the bridesmaids and stuff. I was in my aunt's wedding. My grandma handmade those dresses. And it was a nice dress. I would probably just pick a jumpsuit out. Yeah. Not a girly girl.
I had a purple sundress. I wanted to be able to wear it again.
Nice. I also hate the attention on me, so there's that. I do have a question. Why baseball? He's like, it's the great American.
It's the perfect American pastime.
Wait,
I like baseball. I like baseball. I like playing it. I watch it on occasion, when the Braves aren't sucking so badly that they're in last place. Of the three of us,
you watch it the most.
Yeah, Bella is clearly not a sporty girl. I would not picture Rosalie as a sporty girl. I don't picture Esme.
I mean, Emmett is thrilled that Rosalie gets involved.
Yeah, I know. But it's just like, these vampires love baseball so much. They're like, Carlisle went to the hospital because he had to cover for somebody. But then, he probably didn't work his full shift because he's later that night.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know this, but a doctor's shift is not a few hours. It's like 8 to 12. They sleep in the hospital.
I pointed that out too.
They sleep.
Yeah, no, I pointed out that he was like, I'm going to go cover this shift, and then they're going to play baseball, and he was like, oh, I'll be there. I was like, what?
Normal doctors sleep in the hospital because their shift is so damn long.
Not in this world.
But they're like, oh, baseball, yay, well, we finally get to play. And then the other vampires, the nomads, hear them playing, and they're like, oh, is that a baseball game I hear? Let's go join!
It's like the Mickey Mouse Club.
It is really random, I will say. It is super random that baseball is the thing that breaks up this book.
I could see them finding so many other sports, soccer, even football, because they get to tackle each other, which they seem to enjoy.
Yeah, why not football? I don't know. That sounds kind of fun. Maybe they just thought, the girls will play baseball. Like, you know how she is with gender roles. Girls shouldn't play football.
I was pretty good at football.
Maybe that's why she did it, as something that they could both play.
Yeah, again, I was pretty good at football. Thank you very much.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying that.
I bet you fucking were, Brittany, probably.
I'm not saying we shouldn't play football. I'm saying Smire probably thinks that.
And it just blows my mind that baseball, and I'm not saying that baseball is a bad thing. I like baseball when the Braves don't suck ass. I like it.
Oh no, it's boring.
Baseball is long.
To a Muse song, it's better.
It can be. And I will say, going to a game is like a different experience than watching it on TV, because they do have music playing, and there's like the Braves do this thing where they have a race where they pick a random member out of the audience and they're like, race the freeze and see if you can beat him. And then there's all these other events. There's the vendors. It's
Okay, so what you're telling me is this sport is so fucking boring that when people go to watch the sport, they have to have all this other shit to do to keep them actually occupied. Is that the point?
It depends on the game, though, because if it's a low-scoring game, people get bored and they sit there and play on their phone. But if it's a high-scoring game, you're doing the wave and you know, dancing and hiding from the camera so you don't get Coldplay.
Well, I will say Bella has plenty to watch because their baseball is not normal baseball.
She might have plenty to watch, but it's happening so fast that she's like, oh, they just appeared over there and now they appeared over here and I can't really follow it.
Yeah, I don't know why baseball is the sport of choice. Maybe it's the cleanest. I don't know.
We're just a normal American family.
Literally.
If they hit her in the head with a baseball, though.
I will say.
Accidentally.
I don't know if y'all can see
Edward
it.
would never let that happen.
But this scar here on my eyebrow, probably cannot see it. I got it when I was 3 years old. Was from baseball. My brother hit me in the head.
Oh my God, Brittany.
My brother hit me in the head with a bat. But it was not his fault.
Oh my God.
It was not his fault. I was playing catcher. He was hitting. I was going to tell him, I think I was going to tell him I was going inside, but I can't remember. And so I tapped him on the back and he swung because he didn't see me. And he got to go spend the night with his best friend and I got to spend the night in the hospital.
Wow.
No, I mean, they had to put him somewhere. He was 6.
Brittany just dropping some trauma on us.
I mean, this is a story. Like I said, it's when I first went into the hospital when getting diagnosed with diabetes, they were like, okay, so the last time you were here was 1991. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. That's when I got hit in the head.
And you were like, I was different ever since. Well, does somebody else want to segue us back into the book?
So this goes back a little bit, but I want to be like, I'm glad y'all, I think both of y'all pointed out that Charlie finally does the fucking dishes himself.
Yeah.
No, I pointed out that I was irritated that she had to fucking scarf her dinner down so that he could sit and relax and have his when he's been fishing all day.
Yeah, no, he comes home and he's like, I'm beat. Doing what,
And
Charlie?
From what?
Doing what?
What kills me is he's like, can you get me some of that dinner? And then he's like, you baby me too much. Charlie, be so for real. You just asked her to get the dinner for you, which she does every day, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you can fix a plate.
And my thing is, I just don't understand how sitting in a fishing boat, and yes, it's under the sun maybe, but it's forks, so probably not, is tiring.
It's not. Probably he's tired from drinking beer.
Well, being in the sun is tiring. I mean, like...
But it's forks.
But it's forks. Yeah,
and
there's no sun.
Doing things with your mind is tiring. But I don't know. I don't care if he's tired is my thing. It doesn't matter if you're tired. People have to do things they don't like. Like fix their own plate.
True.
Get over it, Charlie. That's my thing. The other thing that we should talk about is that right before the baseball game, Edward brings her home so that he can like officially pick her up and Charlie can see him, you know, and Billy Black and Jacob Black are there.
Motherfucker.
As soon as we got there, I was like, another appearance from Jacob Black. Like that was what was going on in my head.
I honestly don't remember him being in the book this much. I thought the scene at the beach was it. I forgot.
Honestly, that's all I remember too, because and I'm a Jacob Black girl, but I didn't remember him being there that much. And it makes me question, are you sure he was an afterthought? Or did he exist just to be another guy that had the hots for Bella, you know?
Yes.
I did find it funny that Billy sent Jacob out to look for the photo in the car. It reminded me of the situation. So I am surrounded on all sides by neighbors. And so I just have to walk into my backyard and go through a fence. And I'm in my childhood best friend's backyard. And so we met that way was by exploring each other's yards. and became friends. And then so,
that doesn't sound like a euphemism at all.
Yeah. Well, she invited us, me and my older brother, to, go to the pool because she had a really nice pool. And we're standing by the fence. And my brother was like, Brittany, don't you have like this really cool planner that the school gave you? Why don't you go get it so you can show Paige? And I knew as soon as I left, they were going to be kissing because they were trying to hide a relationship from me. And so I ran my ass off, went and grabbed that planner and booked it back. And I kind of expected Jacob to do the same thing.
That is such little sister behavior.
They wanted to pretend like they weren't dating.
I was always trying to get rid of... I'm the eldest, so I was always trying to get rid of my siblings, and they never took it either. They were like, I'll be right back. I was like, stop it. Oh my goodness. But yes, so Billy sends him off to the car so that he can confront her about the fact that she's been hanging out with Edward. And while I think Billy has his best intentions, I'm like, wow, that's really kind of overstepping for someone you don't really know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's been around her a lot of his life, but that doesn't mean that he is associated enough with her to, like, do that.
Not only that, though, but he's unwilling. And I mean, I know it's because of the treaty, but if you're not willing to say the reason why you think this is a bad idea, then shut your fucking mouth.
And what did he think he was going to say to Charlie? Like, what did he think he was going to say? Because Charlie has already defended Carlisle to the gods, and that is actually what happened that created a rift between them. So he thought he was going to come here and tell Charlie, your daughter is dating Edward Cullen, or I saw them around together, and that would go, how?
Charlie would probably be like, what? She told me just last night she didn't like any of the boys in town.
Yeah, so he'd be upset about the fact she didn't tell him, but I don't see how that would go good for Billy. You know what I mean? For Billy.
If it were me and my daughter and somebody came up and told me that they were dating, I would have told him it's my natural instinct to be like defensive, I guess. I don't know. But I would
be like, where is this coming from?
Good. My daughter needs somebody to date. Yeah, sure. If she wants to date him, let him date him.
I think I would just be like, where is this coming from? Like, why are you watching my daughter?
What's your interest in this?
That's weird. Yeah, I think that would be weird. I think he would get defensive somehow. Like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't see what Billy thought he was going to do there.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize that the Jeep from the movie was Emmett.
Oh, who did you think that it was?
I just thought it was another one of their cars.
Yeah, Emmett's Jeep is my favorite of all of the cars. I admittedly think Jeeps are cool. I don't have a Jeep, and they're known for being like douchebag cars, I know. But I think they're kind of cool.
They break down a lot.
Yeah, they do break down a lot.
Yeah.
They freak me out about car accidents.
Because they're open.
And the fact that, again, I walk into walls. I would totally just whoop.
Yeah, one time I witnessed, the only car accident I've ever witnessed was a Jeep. And it flipped like midair. And the person like flung out of it. So, not the safest car.
Also, I think it's funny that if you flip Jeep around, you get deer. Sort of.
What?
I guess you're sort of right.
Deej?
So, J
deer with a little period underneath.
And then you flip it and you get D-E.
Like this.
Although the E's would really.
Okay. I see.
This episode is all over the place.
I know.
All right. Well, and then it kind of ends with
them approaching.
Yes. Alice has a very sudden "That's So Raven" moment, and she's like, oh, they're coming. And what happened was the bad vampires, these random vampires, heard them playing baseball because it's so fucking loud, and we're like, woo, baseball! As Brittany said. And they decided to make their way as quick as possible toward the baseball game so that they could join.
And I did want to say that, because I know I kind of gave her shit about the meadow scene and how terrible it was, that the editors should have done a better job with that. But starting with I think chapter 14 on, those scenes are actually past chapter 14. Those scenes are so much better. Like, they're actually really well written and they go really great. And
They're flowing.
because I was starting to get in 14 a little nervous about having to read the rest of the books. I thought it was going to be a lot of skimming. But so I just wanted to
because
point out
a lot of the book before this is, does he like me? Does she like me? Oh, he's so beautiful.
I'm
I
dangerous.
can't read her mind. I'm dangerous. Don't be afraid. It's fine.
But be afraid, but don't.
Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from. I do think that once we get to the next books, it will pick up even more.
Yeah. It's almost like once you started writing the colons that it changed.
Yeah.
It almost felt like somebody else was writing it. I definitely enjoyed those scenes.
Well, did you guys have any other thoughts that you wanted to point out? Stuff we didn't discuss? We're about to meet some bad guys. I'm excited for that.
Oh, I did it just really quick. When they're hiding in her room, sort of hiding, when they're having a sleepover in her room without Charlie's knowledge, they're sitting there like having a full-on conversation. And I know she says that it's quiet, but I can't picture it. Like, I feel like they had this full-on out loud.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get away with that? How did Charlie not know that Bella was talking to somebody? I mean, unless she's like me and she just has conversations with herself.
He's probably watching baseball.
He's watching TV. Yeah,
Right?
he's watching TV. Yeah.
I felt like it was a little...
I agree. Yeah.
Especially when he thought she was going to sneak out. He would be listening.
He checked on her once, and then he was like, it's fine. And then he undid her car, and he was like, well, she can't go anywhere.
She can just steal the police cruiser. It's fine.
Yeah. It's funny to me that you brought up that he was a total liar about being attracted to anyone, because then when they're in the bedroom and she's like, so how does that work? Like, she refuses to say sex. And he's like, Bella,
are they a
I may not be
couple?
human,
Like a real
but I am a man.
Couple?
Yeah.
Like a
Are they
real
like
married couple?
But Bella, just ask if they're having sex.
Also, bold of this very shy, has never been kissed girl to just be like, by the way, when are we gonna?
And I wonder if it was more like, can we? Will we be able to? Because like that's going to be a deal breaker. Do you think that would be a deal breaker for Bella?
I don't.
I do.
I mean,
I really do.
In whatchamacallit, one of her conditions for marrying him was that he fucked her before she got turned into a vampire.
She is ravenous about it, especially in the later books. I think if he revealed to her that they wouldn't be able to ever have sex, I think she would stay with him a while, and then that would be it. She would have to give up.
Which
it is a priority.
I will say this. To be fair, would you really want to stay a virgin your whole life?
No.
That happened in the Sookie Stackhouse books. A girl got made into a vampire as a virgin, and so every time she had sex as a vampire, it grew back.
That poor girl.
I know, right? It was Deborah Ann Wall's character.
That is awful. Those books are wild.
They are.
I need to read them.
They're not worth it.
I mean, no.
They were okay up until the end, and then the end was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
That sucks. I hate when books or TV series do that. Like, they fucking ruin the last part.
Yeah, that always sucks. One thing I did want to kind of point out, it's minor, but when I first read it, I was like, what is happening here? And then it's kind of explained in Midnight Sun. So after he finishes playing her lullaby for her, she cries a little bit, and then he
can't believe
he realizes
we forgot about that.
Yeah, he realizes that there's tears in her eyes, and then he lifts his finger to her face, examines the drop of moisture, and then puts it in his mouth like a weirdo. Doesn't explain it. She doesn't care. She's like,
I'm gonna drink
weird,
your tears.
And then moves on.
He literally drinks her tears, which, by the way, since they can't digest anything, does that tear just sit in his stomach for the rest of eternity?
Probably.
So in Midnight Sun, he questions that. He says, well, since we can't consume anything, I wonder what will happen. Will she become part of me?
Then he should be able to drink water.
You know who else thought that consuming people would make them part of them?
Ted
Jeffrey
Bundy?
Dahmer. wanted to point that out, that it is a weird scene to include, and then her explanation of it made it 800 times worse for me.
It's bad enough that he drank her tears, because that's just creepy in itself. But to sit there and be like, now she's part of me forever.
Yeah, that's so weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I had no words. It's just proof as to why I stopped reading Midnight Sun, because it's just like, what the hell? The illusion is completely broken.
I am now picturing Edward gathering her tears in a little bottle. Bella's tears. He's gonna wear it around his neck.
It's like that period of time when people were selling bathwater. Girls were selling bathwater to men. Do you guys remember that?
No. This must be past our generation.
You know what? I don't claim these people, but if those women want to make money, if they want to make money off of stupid men, I am here to support it, okay?
Okay.
To be fair, we don't know they were actually selling bathwater. They could have sent them just some random water with some suds in there. Yeah. We don't know. Okay, anyway, I'm glad that I just dropped that on y'all. All right. Let's end it there. So we hope that everyone enjoyed this crazy episode, and we hope you'll join us for next week's. We'll be discussing Twilight chapters 18 through the epilogue. So we're going to end it next week. New episodes drop each week, and don't forget to check out last season's discussion on the Empyrean series, available now.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. That like and follow are super important for us to continue to bring you new episodes each week. So please, please, please do so. You can also support us by joining us on Patreon. Thank you for listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. We'll see you next week.
Happy reading, listeners. Don't stay up too late.